welcome back to my channel. I thought I would just come on here and talk to you guys kind of just how I found out I was pregnant and just some symptoms that I've been experiencing throughout this pregnancy. So just to give you guys a little backstory, I am about to be 25 years old. I will be 25 at the end of this month. I'm currently filming this on September the 1st. So I will be 25 at the end of this month. And John and I had always talked about wanting kids. We had always talked about having kids, but we never really thought that we wanted kids anytime soon. It was more of a future kind of thing. I always said that I wanted to be done with school before we thought about trying for kids, and also we wanted to have been moved out of this house and have moved either closer to John's brother or somewhere like that, buying a house, building a house. But it wasn't something that we were in a rush to do. I always said like maybe in my early 30s we would maybe try to start having kids. If you guys don't know, John is 3 years older than me. So I was just thinking like our early 30s, late 20s, early 30s. And that was just kind of my overall like thought process about kids. So it was never anything that was in my near future. But about 9 months ago, not 9 months ago, but about like almost a year ago or so, I made the conscious decision to go off of birth control. I had been on birth control since I was 16. I had never really had a good experience with birth control. At first I was on the oral pill. I took that between the age of like 16 to like 19 or so, and realized that it was giving me really bad morning sickness. So I ended up talking to my gynecologist about it, and we both kind of decided that there wasn't really much that could be done about that side effect of it. So I had heard about an IUD, and that's when IUDs had first been really popular basically. So I talked to my gynecologist about it, and I ended up getting this Skyla put in. So I had an IUD for 3 or 4 years. Initially it lasted 3 years, and then I got that one taken out after it expired and got a new one put in. But after about a year of having the new one put in, I just realized it wasn't for me. It gave me really bad cramps. There were some other side effects to it that I didn't like, and so I was talking to John about it, and we just decided that I would get that taken out and I was going to go back on the pill. It had been a while since I had been on the pill, so I just figured maybe by this time my body would act differently toward it. So I just decided to go back on the pill, and hopefully I wouldn't have the same side effects. So I ended up going back on the pill, and lo and behold, I had the same exact side effects. I would have severe morning sickness to the point of it being debilitating. Even in high school, like there were days that I could not go to school because I was so sick in the morning that I just could not get out of bed, and I hated it. I hated the way it made me feel. I did not like the pill at all. I'm also terrible at remembering things, and so even with me setting an alarm, I would always take my pill late. It just wasn't for me. So honestly, John got fed up of me talking about how sick I was every morning. So he was like, Lauren, why don't you just go off the pill? Like, if we get pregnant, we get pregnant. At this point, we've been together for a long time. We're already married. It's not a huge deal. So I ended up going off the pill, like I said, about a year ago. And then I was off of the pill for 9 months. And then I found out I was pregnant. So we weren't exactly trying, but we weren't like preventing either. So it was April 18th that I found out I was pregnant, and I just remember my brother and sister-in-law were in town. They were staying with us, and we were supposed to be having a cookout that day with a couple of their friends at our house, and I had bought like drink stuff to make drinks. It was just going to be a really fun time, and we were really excited, and it was going to be like we're playing yard games, all this stuff. And even though I had been on birth control for a really long time, and when I had my IUD I didn't have a period at all, I was very regular. Like even just after getting the IUD taken out and switching to the pill, I was just always very regular. I was always on time. 28 days later, I was always on time. It was never a question. I was never late. It was never delayed. Nothing. I've never had a pregnancy scare. I've never even like thought to take a pregnancy test just because I've never had that scare happened to me before. So I woke up, it was a Saturday, I woke up that Saturday morning and I was supposed to start my period because I was tracking my ovulation at the time just to honestly prevent pregnancy. I was tracking my ovulation and as well as my periods, and I was supposed to start my period that day and I didn't start it. And so I immediately was talking to John about it, and I was like, John, I think I might be pregnant. Like, I haven't started my period and I don't know why. And he was like, Lauren, it's not a big deal, like, don't worry about it. And so me and my sister-in-law had to go to Costco for something, so we ended up going to Costco, just me and her, and then my brother-in-law and my husband went and worked out that morning, and so we were both kind of doing our own things. And we got home and I needed to get like ginger beer or something for the mules that I was making that night. And I texted my husband and I was like, I'm gonna go run to the store really quickly to get ginger beer, but I'm also going to grab a pregnancy test. And he was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, you're not gonna be pregnant, but if it would make you feel better, then just go get one. Because I knew I would be drinking that night, and if I even thought that I was pregnant, I didn't want to be drinking if I had it in the back of my mind that I might be pregnant. So I went to the store and I got a pregnancy test, and I came home and immediately took it, and before I even finished peeing on the stick, it was positive. It was like very, very clearly positive. If I can find the pictures of the pregnancy tests that I have, then I will insert them here. But they were very clearly positive. There was no doubt about it that I was very pregnant. And so I ended up, I think that I took the first response ones, or maybe even like the Walmart knockoff version of the first response ones. I don't know anything about pregnancy tests because that was like really the first time I had ever taken one. So they were positive, and then the next day I was like, well, I'm just gonna take a digital pregnancy test, because if I was going to, you know, eventually announce that we were pregnant on social media or something, I wanted one that said that I was pregnant. And so I went to the store the next day and picked up the clear blue pregnancy test, and I took it and it said I was pregnant. So I very much found out that day that I was very pregnant. And at the time I kind of just did some research based off of my last period and everything, so I was about right around 4 weeks pregnant, like maybe 3.5 weeks pregnant. So I found out really, really early. We ended up telling my brother and sister-in-law because they were at my house, and so they kind of like were already here whenever I was telling my husband and everything. And it was a really big shock because, again, we weren't trying, it was not something that we were thinking about, so us finding out we were pregnant was just very surprising. So we immediately told my brother and sister-in-law because they were here, and I immediately FaceTimed my parents and told them. And then we ended up also going over to my husband's parents' house, my in-laws' house, and telling them, and I FaceTimed both my brothers. Like, we told pretty much our whole like immediate family within the first like day or two. I ended up telling everybody. I ended up calling my doctor that Monday, and my doctor said that they don't do first ultrasound or anything appointments until 10 weeks. So at this point I was 3.5 weeks, and I had to wait until I was 10 weeks pregnant in order to have my first doctor's appointment. So I had to go a full like 6 weeks without, or 7 weeks, before I could even like confirm that I was pregnant. So I kind of just left it at that. And then the first couple weeks were fine. After I found out I was pregnant, I didn't really have any symptoms. The only symptom that, looking back now, that I remember having was toward the beginning of April, my boobs were super, super sore. Sorry if this is TMI, but my boobs do get sore right before starting my period, but they were so sore that I couldn't even put on a bra, and I could barely even wear a t-shirt because they were so sore that week. And I checked my like ovulation app just to see like what the heck could be going on, And it was during my week of ovulation. So I was like, oh, well, maybe it's just because I'm ovulating. Like, maybe that's why my boobs are so sore. But they were like the most sore that they've ever been. So that was the only, like, now looking back, I was like, okay, well, that was clearly because I was pregnant. But before, like, this wasn't even in my radar. So I was just like, oh, it's just because I'm ovulating. And then between weeks like 6 and like 9.5 to almost right up until my appointment, I was so sick. Like, so sick to the point where I almost had to be hospitalized because I could not keep any kind of liquids down. I couldn't keep down Gatorade. I couldn't keep down water. I couldn't keep down food. The minute that I would open my eyes in the morning, I would be throwing up stomach acid, and then I would try to eat something and I would immediately throw it up. My husband couldn't even make coffee in our house because the smell of coffee made me so sick that I could not even, like, I could not handle the smell of coffee. Everything made me sick. It was the worst, like, 3.5 weeks of my life, you guys. I looked at my husband and I was like, John, I can't do this again. Like, I can't have 2 kids because I cannot feel like this again. It was so painful. I was so sick. And then so finally I called my doctor and I was like, this is not normal. Like, I was like, I can't keep water down. And so they were like, well, how long has it been since you've had any liquids? And I was like, since yesterday. It's been almost 24 hours since I've had any liquids. And they were like, okay, well, let me talk to the doctor and see what we can do, but they might need you to go to the ER because you're dehydrated. And I was just like praying that I did not have to go to the ER, because this was right whenever COVID like first really hit where I live. And so I was just like praying that I did not have to go to the hospital, because I did not want to go during that time, because it was just a new thing, you know, nobody really knew what was going on. And so they ended up telling me that if I was able, they prescribed me some nausea medicine, and they said that if I was able to take this nausea medicine and eventually put down some liquids, then I did not have to go to the hospital. So I ended up having my husband go pick up the nausea medicine from the pharmacy, and they prescribed me Phenergan, and I took it and it immediately just knocked me out. So I ended up sleeping for like 2 days straight, and after that I was able to keep down some liquids but was still super nauseous. So I was sick until right at about 10 weeks or so. After that I have felt great. Second trimester has been great. They say that the second trimester is the best time. But I ended up I started showing pretty early too. I remember being at the lake and having a little baby, like it was bloat, you know, it was bloating, but I had a little bit of baby weight on me. And then I have a picture of me at like 11 weeks and then 13 weeks. And then I have a picture of me at like 20 weeks and then a picture, and then now I'm 23. I'll be 24 weeks tomorrow. So it's just been quite the experience, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a learning experience. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of ultrasounds that I have for her, as well as a couple of outfits that I got for her, and then I'm gonna show you guys my baby bump, and then I'll just kind of wrap up the video. A friend gave me this baby book, and it's mostly for once they're here. It's not very much like for pregnancy. So I want to pack this in my hospital bag because it talks about like her birth story. It's where you can write about like her birth story and what all happened, and I want that for memories. All the ultrasounds, I've honestly been so lucky. I've had an ultrasound every time I've been to the doctor. So like I said, I've been super lucky, because I know not everybody does. I'll show you. This was her first ultrasound. Yeah, so this was my like second ultrasound. No, this was my first ultrasound, so I was 10 weeks here. Sorry, I'm just like covering up my name and my doctor's name. So that was my first ultrasound. I was 10 weeks there, if you can see. And then these were from, Oh, this is from when we found out her gender, actually. We did a little bit of a gender reveal that my friends kind of helped me with. We just took pictures. I'll insert some pictures from that, but there's like her little hand. And then this is from, again, I was 17 weeks. So this one's really cute. It's got like her little hand on it. I think that is so cute. They said she's got long fingers, and I have really long fingers. And they also said she has a really big head, and my husband has a really big head. So we'll see how that goes. Really one of my favorites. Look at her little nose. I think that's so freaking cute. I think she has the cutest little nose. There's an even better one right here. But she's got just like the cutest little nose. I think she's so freaking darn cute. So these are from like a boutique on Facebook that my husband's friend actually found and sent to us. So I got 2 different ones. If you guys don't know, my husband mostly and I are Alabama football fans. So they have these cutie little, they call it like a bowl outfit or something. I got this one for her. This is like 6 months, so it'll fit her next football season. But they say they run kind of small, so we'll see. So this one is 6 months. And then this is like a little top. And the little shorts that go with it. So cute. This one's 12 months, so she'll be a little bit bigger. So yeah, and then I'm going to show you guys my baby bump. I am, again, 24 weeks pregnant tomorrow. So let me show you. This is 24 weeks on September. It's actually the 1st, so I'll be 24 weeks tomorrow. But this is it. And then I'm also wearing a belly band right now. But with the belly band, so big. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to tell you guys. If you guys did have any more questions, just let me know. As of 24 weeks, I'm feeling great. We're getting closer to the 3rd trimester. And then after that, it won't be long until she's here. So we're really excited, but also very nervous, very scared. I'm going to work on her baby book actually while I'm sitting here. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.